Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to do a video all about self-care. You may know that I am teamed up with Channel Mum, and their focus this month is self-care, self-development, basically looking after yourself. I'm going to go through the things that I do to look after myself and for self-care. Then I'm also going to go into the things I've started doing, or I'm going to start doing, and then other things and other suggestions that you may want to do as well. So yes, let's get started. The one thing that I started doing just before Christmas, I'd say like October, November time, is face masks. My skin has been really terrible with either spots or dry skin, so I want to start looking after my skin that way. So 3 nights a week I do a face mask. I kind of just put one on after I take my son to bed, and then I put one on, come downstairs and just chill out for a bit. I think it's a nice way to relax, plus you're looking after your skin as well. So I absolutely love doing face masks. My favourite one at the minute is the L'Oreal Detox Mask. I absolutely love that one. Another thing that I've been doing for self-care, and I've been doing this for about 3 years, almost 3 years now, is getting my nails done. At least once to twice a month I go and get these done. It's nice because I've built a nice relationship with the lady that does them. I've always got them done by the same person. But plus I kind of like have an hour just to have no phone, no kids, just to sit, chat and get my nails done. So I absolutely love that. Another thing, which might sound a bit kind of like cheesy, and I've mentioned this a few times before, is self-development books. Especially when you work for yourself, self-development books are really good. Plus they make you think about certain things that you don't always think about. When I kind of heard about self-development books, I just thought it's kind of like, I don't know, I was expecting like a self-help book for dummies, you know, something like that, and make it be cheesy, because I thought, oh, only people that are like really depressed or in a really bad situation read self-help books, but they don't. Every successful business person, you'd find that they actually read self-development books. I don't have much time whatsoever in my day to read, and I'm one of those people that if I read something, I have to read it a few times for it to sink in my head. So because I like to multitask and get things done, I tend to listen to self-development books through Audible. I have loads of self-development books, but plus I have loads of like business books to help me that way as well. So I would definitely recommend listening to them or reading self-development books because they are amazing. My top ones at the minute are What I Know For Sure by Oprah Winfrey, Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel, I think it's Hollis or Rachel Hollis. The one that I've just finished reading is The Gift of Imperfection. I can't remember the author, but I'll link them down below if you're wanting to check them out as well. Another thing that I've started doing, and it's not just for me, it's for my son as well, and this to me is like self-care, and that's having a games night. Me and my son always had games nights on like school holidays or things like that, and we'd never had an actual day that was dedicated to a games night. Basically every single Wednesday we would have a games night. This doesn't mean he gets to stay up really late. He still goes to bed between 8 and 8:30. It just means that instead of just sitting there either on the iPads watching TV, that we have nothing on and then we just play a game. We like to play Uno, Don't Wake Dad, Frustration, and then he's got a new games for Christmas, which is something like Toilet Frenzy, Flushing Frenzy, and he's also got like a 5 Nights at Freddy's game as well, which is really cool. So we love that time because I spend a lot of time with my daughter, because obviously she's only at school half the day, and I kind of feel like I'm missing out with Andrew, but because he's that age now where we can play games together, this is a nice way for us to kind of bond over it. But then I'm also like having a laugh and having fun with him, so it's kind of like self-development as well, because you need to do things that are like enjoyment to you and make you happy, and there's nothing better that makes me happy than spending the time with my son and having a laugh with him. One of the other things that I do as well, which I don't really have a choice in the matter, but I've carried on, is vitamins. I suggest you take multivitamins just to keep your body healthy. Myself, I don't take multivitamins just because I am lacking in a lot of vitamins, so I take the tablets. I lack in B12, so I have to get the injection every 12 weeks in my arms. And then also I'm lacking in vitamin D and folic acid. So I just take them as in like strong like vitamins itself rather than taking multivitamins because they're not strong enough for me. So I suggest taking vitamins to look after yourself. It's shocking how much better I feel when I take the vitamins, because if I stop taking them, if I run out and I stop taking them for like 1 or 2 days, I am completely zonked. I am so tired. And it's the same with my injection. A few days running up to the injection, I get really, really tired. So I realised how important they are and how much they actually help. So definitely recommend taking multivitamins, or at least taking separate vitamins. My goals for self-care in 2019 obviously is to continue all of that I've just said, plus more as well. For 2019, I've started doing it already because obviously we're halfway through January. But there is a few things I want to focus on or improve on, and I also want to read more self-development books or listen to more self-development books. On average, I think I listen about 3 to 4 hours a month. That is basically one book, and I want to do a lot more. I want to increase that to maybe 2 or 3 books a month, even if it's just repeating a previous book. Like at the minute, because I've just finished the Gifts of Imperfection, I started reading Girl Code. I absolutely love this book. This is like the 3rd time I've listened to it, but because I haven't listened to it in about over a year, it's great just to go back into those and re-listen. And I think when you listen to them again and again, you hear things that you didn't necessarily hear the first time you listened or read it. So I definitely like rereading through them books if I don't want to keep buying new books every single month. Another thing that I decided to do this year, and I've already started, is walking to school. Our school is about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away from us, so it is a big distance to walk every single day, especially because I have to make 1, 2, 3, 6 trips to school, drop my kids off in the morning, then drive back home, then go back to school to pick my daughter up, then obviously drive back home, then go to school to pick my son up, and then drive back home. To actually walk into school, it takes me 30 to 45 minutes to walk it, and that's at my pace, not a child's pace, because I tend to put Avery in the pushchair because it's way too long. So I decided that this year I wanted to start doing, and I already have started doing, to basically walk once, basically it's 2 trips there and back, walk to school. So every Monday I get my daughter in the pushchair and then I walk to fetch my son and then walk back. It doesn't just help obviously the exercise and the fitness, it also helps mine and my son's bond. I used to walk to school with him every single day, and I absolutely loved it because I felt like we would talk, because obviously it takes a lot longer to walk than it would do to drive. And yeah, but now obviously we live a little bit further away from school, it just makes it more difficult. So that walk, that obviously I go to school with my daughter and then come back with my son also, it's a nice way for us to bond. It means I get to talk to them both and ask about the day and build a relationship rather than just sitting in the car listening to music. It seems to help obviously mine and my son and my daughter's relationship as well. The other thing that I want to do is a lot more walking. So if that is, there's a park opposite me, if that's walking around the field, going out on evening walks or day walks, just basically try and walk as much as I can. It's the same if I go to my mum's. My mum lives about a few streets away from me, but I can cut across the park. It takes me about 5-10 minutes. If I obviously walk with the kids, it'll take me 10 minutes. On my own, it'll take me 5. But every time I visit my mum now, I tend to walk it there instead of driving, because we have to go all the way around the park. It's just quicker if we walk. So yeah, I try and walk as much as possible. I kind of started doing that last year, but I'm gonna try and obviously focus more on that this year as well. Another thing I wanna do is, I have a Fitbit and I absolutely love my Fitbit. So my aim is to do 10k steps. I'm not aiming to do that every single day because I have got some relaxing days, especially the weekends where I don't really get out the house that much unless me and the kids and stuff are going like on a trip. But during the week, Monday to Friday, I would like to hit 10k every single day at least. I am getting close to that. There is some times that I hit, like I think yesterday, I got 9,700, so I'm close to it. But eventually I am wanting to hit at least 10k Monday to Friday. Another thing that I've started doing this month as well is a journal. This is where all my notes are, and this is a journal that I use and I absolutely love it. It is a law of attraction planner. For those that do not know, there is a film on Netflix or YouTube, and there's a book as well called The Secret. It is basically how you focus your mind on the things that you want, and then you see them and you kind of subconsciously work harder to get them. It's pretty much like if you want a certain car and you've wanted that for ages, and you finally got it, you'll probably suddenly see most of the people around you, or a lot of people around you, with that same car. It's not that they've gone out and bought the car like you, it's just because your mind is now focused on that thing that you tend to pick up on it a lot more. So it's basically twisting your mindset. Rather than thinking negative things, think positive things, and then you subconsciously draw those positive things closer to you, rather than thinking negative and then obviously drawing more negative things into you. So yeah, it is an amazing, and law of attraction, and this law of attraction planner is amazing. It basically, you go through, it asks you loads of questions, and it makes you realize what you actually want out of life. And the thing that I kind of realized that I wanted was memories. I want to create so many more memories with my children as possible. So that was my focus, to basically, I'd love to travel with them and take them everywhere. And it's not just that, because obviously you need money to do those things. So it's even putting things in there like, obviously I want more game nights, I want to walk more, so to spend more time with them, take them out a bit more often, and things like that. So it's things that don't necessarily need to have money to do. It's just things that I can focus and build our relationship together. And yeah, that's the thing that I want the most. I want them to kind of like, if I turn around them when they get a bit older and think, what memories did you enjoy with me the most? I want them to basically give me a whole massive list rather than saying one or two things that they can remember. Because that's the thing, it's like, if I know I want to work hard and I want to work hard to get what I want, but if I work hard and then neglect my kids, like not spending as much time with them, then to me, I'm not doing what I want out of the life. Ever since I was younger, I knew I wanted kids. I knew I wanted a family. And I can remember this is when I was like 15, 16. I can remember one of my friends turned around to me and said, if I had a choice either to work and get the career I wanted, or to have the family that I wanted, which one would I choose? And I said family. To me, family is the most important thing, and my kids are the most important things to me. They mean the world to me, and obviously my family, my husband, my mum, everyone like that means so much to me. So creating the memories I have with them, and then my kids creating the memories with them also, to me is the most important thing, because there's nothing worse than working your butt off, buying something for that child, and then they kind of either don't appreciate it, or they have it 2 years, then it gets gone. Memories, you keep memories forever. So to me, having those memories and them having those memories of me are the most important thing. So what the journal kind of technically does is you ask all these questions, and then you basically make a big long list of the things that you want out of life, and the 50 things that you want. How outrageous they're meant to be, but you're meant to use something called a SMART technique. Can't remember exactly what it stands for. I'll pop it on the screen. But each letter stands for something, basically. So it's got to be, you can't like write down that I want to win the lottery, because you're not in control of that, and that's not something that you can decide. But doing things like earning this amount this year, or having a certain amount of subscribers, things like that, that I can't control, but I can help and do things that can obviously help me get that. So the planner is basically writing the things that you want, picking your top 5, and then basically writing a list of what you can do to make those things come true. So like one of the things at the minute for me is to take my children to Disneyland Paris. So I basically kind of like wrote a plan of what I can do to make that happen within a year. And yeah, so it makes you focus, and it helps you focus on things in particular, and then things to change throughout your, basically your day-to-day, your week, your month, to make those things come true. It also has a vision board, which is basically a ton of pictures of things that you want and you want to see, so you can visualize things rather than just reading it. You can visualize it more, which obviously helps kind of get it more into your brain. There's also a monthly planner that you can obviously write things down to do every day, or you can have a weekly one which is in more detail, where there's like hours on there, and you write what you're doing and things like that. But then you also write what you want, and then at the end of it, it asks you for rewards. So it's like, if I've done this week, like my first one for the first week of January, well, not the first week of January, the second week of January, the first week the kids were back at school, my aim that week was to walk on the Monday to pick my son up from school. And then that reward, and it says, what would you like your reward to be? And I basically put like a gift to myself. So I ended up buying a sign, a plaque, to basically put on my wall. It was a Mary Poppins ones. I absolutely loved it. So I ended up treating myself to that. Another thing that I have tried to start as well is yoga Pilates. I tried it yesterday and it completely killed me because I had bad neck and shoulders. But I'm gonna keep on trying to do it, but just kind of like not overwhelm myself with it. So I did it for like 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna keep doing that to hopefully build the strength back in my arms, so I can do a lot more as well, because there's certain things that I can't really do with my kids. And like this morning, my daughter was very upset going to school, and I tried to pick her up, but I can't hold her for that long because my arms just feel like they're gonna drop off and I get in a lot of pain. So it makes me sad when I have to walk with her and she's crying and wants me to pick her up and give me cuddles, and I'm like, I just can't do it because my arms will drop off. So I'm like, I'd rather you kind of be on the floor and be upset than basically me dropping her, because that would be a lot worse. So yeah, that in all would obviously help with my kids, and then things around the house and cooking and everything like that to be less painful. So that is another thing that I'm wanting to do. So there are all the things that I'm doing so far this year, and the things that also I started last year. But now I'm going to go into other things and examples that you guys can do. So the other self-care options that I've noted down here is bubble baths. I'm not a massive fan of baths because I kind of like just to jump in the shower, be very quick. But I know a lot of people like to relax and chill. So make a thing of it. Grab a book or listen to some nice music, light some candles, put the light off and just kind of relax in a bubble bath away from kids and just chill out. If you can't do that at the evening, then ask someone to watch the kids, or the partner to watch the kids, or a family member to watch the kids, and just pamper yourself that way. I think spending time with the kids is amazing, and it's the thing obviously that I want to focus on, but also having your time away is a really good thing as well. Being self-employed and obviously working from home, sometimes it's difficult to get the time away from my kids because of working from home. And when I used to work before, when I'd basically drop my kids off with family, or their dad used to look after them, and then I used to go to work, that was kind of like me. I was Sarah when I went to work. But the other times I'm at home, I'm a wife, I'm a mum, and kind of Sarah kind of gets lost in the distance. So doing something for yourself and having that time away is also good as well to help you find yourself. So I really recommend go for walks just by yourself, maybe in the evening. I love walking in the evening, or having a bubble bath or something like that, just to kind of help you to relax. Another thing which is pretty similar is a cozy night. There's nothing more that I love doing, and I did this yesterday, having a face mask on, having a hot chocolate, and just watching Netflix or just something on TV that I really like. I don't get a lot of time to do that because my kids take a long time to go to sleep. But as soon as they're in bed and as soon as they're asleep, I put a face mask on, I get a hot chocolate, and then I watch one TV program, one episode, so an hour or so. And that kind of like just gives me an hour just to relax, spend time with myself, and then kind of like having a hot drink and a face mask, having a hot drink and a face mask just to pamper myself with and kind of like, yeah, feel warm and cozy. The other thing that I can suggest as well is the gym. I completely forgot what it's called, but when you go to the gym and when you exercise, your brain lets off a certain chemical which basically relaxes you. It's really good. That's why like doctors and stuff recommend that if you're depressed that you join a gym, because yeah, it kind of lets those chemicals get into your brain and ultimately it makes you a happier person. So I would recommend the gym, or even things like I was doing, going out for walks or yoga Pilates. You could also do gym classes or just go into the gym. The gym classes as well, as a mum, I went to them. I can't do them anymore just because of my upper body strength, but I used to love doing it because you kind of build relationships with the people in that class as well and build friendships, and that's quite good to have friends away from like family and to know you as a mum and a wife, to know you just as you. So it's good as well to meet new people and create new friendships. Another thing that I can recommend is meditating. It's not something that I do. I used to do when I was younger, and it is quite nice, but in a way that's what I like doing a part of yoga Pilates. There's a part where you kind of like relax, you lie down, you tense each muscle and then relax it. It's kind of like you're in a kind of like a coma state. You're aware of what's going around you, but you're just so relaxed that you kind of don't want to move. That's my kind of version of meditation, so I kind of do it within my yoga Pilates. But you can just meditate at home or anytime you want to. It doesn't mean you have to sit there cross-legged going like hum. It just means you close your eyes, you focus on the things you want out of life, or you focus on something in particular, and you breathe and you think, and it's amazing at the end how you just feel so relaxed, and you kind of realise how tense your muscles are. So you kind of, instead of being like this and tensing yourself, you kind of relax and realise the difference between the two. Another thing that I'd recommend is dancing. Another kind of type of exercise, but there's nothing better than just going out and dancing. I'm not a person to go out at night time. I'm not kind of like into that. But I love dancing with my kids. My daughter's obsessed with Beauty and the Beast, and there's so many times we put that song on and we're just kind of like, I'm the Beast, she's Belle, and we just dance away. Or we just stick the music channel on, or stick a song on YouTube and just kind of jump about and dance and have fun with my kids. Again, it creates memories, plus it releases those chemicals, and then overall it makes a happy person. Another thing that's obviously similar to that is singing as well. I love singing in the car. My kids tell me off majority of the times to stop singing, but I just love it. Even if it's just when I'm at home and I just put some music on and sing to it. I absolutely love The Greatest Showman. So I listen to that soundtrack all the time because it's so positive, except for like one song. And yeah, I absolutely love it. So singing as well is also a good thing to do. And there's another thing you can do with your kids. You can just sing as loud as you want in the house with your kids. Another thing, which is pretty much all of them, do something you love. So if that is going on a hike, if that's swimming, if that's getting your nails done, something that you love, do. I always got told something, and I 100% agree with it. You can't expect to look after someone else unless you look after yourself first. And it is so important. I kind of didn't, when I was in like a bad stage and really depressed and really like sad and things, I kind of realised that I had to get out of that state because of my kids. And I know that I had to be like, right, I need to take this time for myself to make myself heal and help myself, and then I can focus on the kids. It's when you're upset and when you're snappy, it kind of has like a domino effect. So if I'm one morning, I wake up and I'm just really grumpy and in a mood, and I just snap at every little thing, either to my husband or to my kids, then that's what they end up doing, because you kind of pass that negative and them emotions on to people. The other thing that you can do is exactly the same, is if you do it with happiness and joy, is if there's a negative person and they say something really horrible, if you kind of like kill with kindness and go back, it kind of makes people realise that not everybody's that way. So if someone's having a bad day, giving them a smile, or if I'm in the car, letting them pull out in front of me, just doing kind gestures like that. And it's the same with my kids. If my kids are really, really grumpy or being mardy in some way, it's something that I do and my mum does as well. We just look at them and we're like, don't you laugh? Don't you laugh? And they just start laughing because it's so funny. So making them laugh when they are sad and grumpy is kind of like, it makes me happy because I've made my kids laugh, but it also makes them happy by just doing something ever so slightly and so tiny can have such a massive effect on your life, on somebody else's life, just because you've done something out of happiness and joy and kindness, and not something out of like sadness and being snappy and grumpy. So yeah, these are the things that I absolutely love doing or suggested. you guys to do in different ways. There is a lot of other ways or other things to do as well for self-care and self-development. If there's certain things that you decided to give yourself this year, so like I don't really look at resolutions because I think they could be made at any time, but if you're looking at any New Year's resolutions or anything you want to focus on for yourself, please pop them down in the comments and share them. I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions on how you do self-care, but also what things you're focusing on this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. But I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!